Hey everybody, it's JV here once again, welcoming you to part 24 of this LP. Now in this video, we're hopefully going to finish this level because we didn't quite finish it last time. So let's go ahead and start. So once again, we'll make sure that that button gets hit, and then press the green one once again. And hopefully we'll get the timing down just right this time. So here we go. Alright, we did it. Now just do this. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to completely block this clone machine, which is what I should have done last time. There we go. Now we can lure our teeth buddies down here. And actually, hang on a sec, we might be able to get away just by doing this. Oh wait, no. Okay. That didn't work out. Let's try this then. Alright. Just lure our teeth enemies down over here. And I think we might be able to make it like that. Alright, so with some clever movements, we were able to sneak out of jail, and now our objective is to go around the edges of the prison complex and get all the chips. And narrowly escape death! Whoa, okay, that was close. That was a close one, but we made it out a-okay. Good. We are now done with that level, and we can now move on to... Well, I was going to say greener pastures, but I've already said that in terms of socialist action, and we all know how that went. So we're going to move on to Fire Trap, which is one of my all-time favorite levels ever in stock level history. This level, I just love the design. It's just so much fun. It uses fire in a fun way. And as you can see, we're kind of trapped in this, we're not trapped, but we're here in this right area. This button holds down that trap, and we need to go there to advance. But how do we do that? Well, what we want to do is we want to keep this fireball going until we can push that block over there. Now you may have noticed there were some chips on the left, and we didn't get those because we don't have fire boots. Now I'm going to bypass all these chips because I happen to know that there's going to be fire boots later on, and it's really easy to collect all these when you get those fire boots, so we're just going to wait till then to take care of that. And over here we got something that brings back some fond old memories of Lesson 4. Ah, nostalgia. What would we do without nostalgia? Alright, here we go. Return trip, we got ourselves a red key. We're in pretty good shape, everybody. We're doing well. Now, over here, we opened up a toggle wall earlier on in the level, in the fire area, so we can get this. So now we're armed with two different keys, and we can proceed forward to this part over here. Now, what's funny is that you can actually kind of push the edge of the level when you're sliding around like that. Yeah, I always found that really strange, but anyway. But still, that doesn't really count as touching the edge of the level, so yeah. Anyway, this part, you want to direct all these fireballs over here, like that, so they can start toggling. And yeah, there we go. This one, we want to make sure it presses the blue button over there, because we need to alternate the tanks over in that first section without a tank button, because the ones on the right won't work unless we have somebody controlling a tank button elsewhere. And thankfully we do, folks. A little bit slow, but it works. And I think there may have been a faster way to do this, but maybe not. But anyway, this gives us our long-awaited prize, the pair of fire boots. And with this in hand, we can now go back to the start, and that trap button controls this trap too. And we can now get the chips on the left side. Just like that. And this trap button also controls that trap. So you can push it so that the fireball can make its round again. And set us free. So yeah, this level is not very difficult. It's just a matter of figuring out what order to do things, what things you can't do, and it can be figured out in a fairly logical fashion too, so it's not too hard. And it has a nice generous time limit too, which is fun. The things you gotta remember are the things like this in the bottom, bottom left, where you have to go to get this chip when you get the fire boot, so you don't want to forget about that, because you want to make sure you have that in hand. And is there something we missed over here? Okay, I think we're good there. Okay, so the only thing we got left to do is to go to the bottom right and take care of all these chips. And as you can see, this ice slide right here, we could have gone to this part of the fire area earlier if we had just slid to the right. But I want to save this area for last just because we can tackle it with fire boots in hand. Just like this. And exits. And once again, we go through with a zigzaggy ice slide. Yay for zigzags. Okay, the next level is another fun level. It's called Mixed Nuts, and it's a fun little challenge. Now we'll get your brain going. What you want to do before you go up through any of those force floors is trap the glider in the middle. You don't want to trap it on any of the sides because you won't be able to escape if he's at the very edges and trapped between two pieces of dirt. So move into this room, and this part stumped me for a long time. What you want to do here is you see all these blocks right here. First thing you want to do actually is just get rid of that one because we won't need that one, and you'll see why. But you want to push all of them down and then all of them left, and this is the only way you can push these blocks through this room. I gotta admit, I love this style of block pushing. It's a little tedious, but it is very clever, and I think the level designer did a really awesome job with this. Now the reason why I sacrificed a block back there is because there's actually one water space that we won't need to fill up. And I'll point that out to you when we get to it. It's at the very end of this puzzle. So yeah, this level, I like this one just because it's a really nice example of how to make something linear without it making you feel like you're forced to do something. I mean, yeah, you are forced to do certain things, but it just doesn't feel like it's so rigid that you can't feel free to go wherever you want, especially at the very end, because at the very end we get yet another awesome example of a big, large open area after several more claustrophobic areas. So let's see, let's go down here. We got 3 left. So thankfully the pushing is getting a little bit shorter. Well, the pushing on this part at least, maybe not through here, but the pushing that involves the down left thing. Okie dokie smoky, and now we can go and get these last 2. And yes, this level also does not have a time limit. I guess the designers felt like people couldn't do this within time. Unlike a certain level that's about to come up, I think 9 levels from now, there's a certain level that's about to come up that takes an incredible amount of time. It's going to take like an entire video for me to get through that level, and it will be hard to fit it within the video, but I'm going to try my best. And so here's where you can use a block for 2 chips, right there. So for the next area, just watch out for Mr. Bug, and proceed to the force floors, right here. Just be careful not to go to the bombs. This is the tricky part. You'll want to make sure you can step off very fast, like that. Now in here, you got a bunch of blocks, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to push one right there, because later on we might have to come back here if we make a mistake at the very end. So we want to be safe and make sure that we have some backup in case we fail. Okay, I think we pushed every one of these. Okay, we're good. Alright, so now let's just go over here, and we got a bunch of ice slides to choose from in this nice open area. So I'm just going to go to the farthest, the one that takes us to the farthest, so we can get through this bottom area in one shot. And you just want to watch out for the bombs. That's basically all you need to watch out for here, and those balls. But thankfully that's not too hard. And now I'm just going to go through the other paths just to get these chips here. Just like that. Alright, so let's just do the same for this other side, which is basically the same principle. Except we don't have any balls bouncing around there. We do have the exit area, but we don't have any balls. And when you get to the exit area, you'll notice that there is a bunch of force paths that we could choose from, and we have to determine which one leads us to... Okay, I did not determine which ice path I need to take there. We have to determine which force path will take us to the right spot, and I believe it's this one. And it's not that one. Alright. So yes, now we have to go through the entire this part over again. This is why I made sure I pushed that block into the force floor room in case we had to come back here. That way the bomb threat was somewhat minimized. thankfully, not too big of a deal. Okay, so now let's just try to do this one more time. And it's this one. There we go. Alright, we made it to the exit, and we can now move on to block and roll. And this level, this is the one I was telling you about all the way back when in Nice Day, when I mentioned an annoying level with walkers. Yeah, it's this one. And the reason why it's annoying is only for optimization reasons. This is kind of like Blobnet in the sense that it's a lot of fun to play if you're not optimizing, but if you are, it's pure torture. Because you have to go through a bunch of rooms that are being patrolled by walkers. And that, frankly, is extremely bad. You can see one of them right up there. Alright, we're making it out over here. And I'm trying to be careful not to push these blocks too far, because if you waste one, you're pretty much going to be doomed. Now the really bad thing about this level is that you have to go through a whole minute of this block pushing right here before you can even get to the walkers, if you're trying to go for the bold time. I mean, I could go to the walkers right now, but that wouldn't be very conducive to optimization. So yeah, you have to endure a whole minute of block pushing before doing that. Unlike Blobnet, where you can just start going into the blobs from second number 1. So yeah, this is one reason why I'm not so enthused about playing this level for optimization. For non-optimization purposes, it's lots of fun, but when you're trying to optimize, it's pretty torturous. Now for this part, you want to get 3 blocks from the bottom up over here. What you're basically trying to do is just build a bridge to these 2 chips, kind of like an extended version of Seeing Stars, I guess you could say. So we got the chips, and we can now exit over here and counter more Walker Mania. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Madness Mania something. One of those M words. Some things that begin with the letter M, and some other things Doom related that don't begin with the letter M, like bugs for instance. And so now that we took care of the bugs, we can now go back to randomness galore and proceed on to the northwest room, which is probably one of the hardest rooms in the level. And we got a challenge here which is somewhat reminiscent of the marsh kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it was made by the same designer too. So what we want to do here is we want to figure out how to get over to this side. So once you get over to this collection of blocks, it's a lot easier. And if I remember this correctly, what you have to do is do this. Push that down, push that there, get this, and do this. Because you want to push these blocks up to get to this chip. That's the only way you can get to that chip. And now we can exit this part, move on to the next phase. So yeah, I like going through this level without optimizing it. It's fun. The only other bad part is a room that we're about to encounter, and this is once again one of those areas that's much harder in Microsoft because you can't do block slapping. And you'll see what it is as soon as this guy gets out of the way. Yeah, right here, there's a bunch of blocks, and what you want to figure out is that the even numbered blocks are the ones that are safe. So just push every other block kind of in a checkerboard pattern like that. And now you got all the chips, and now you can proceed to the exits. So block and roll has been conquered, and we were able to make it out without any troubles. Oh, and this level, oh my goodness, this level has some problems of its own, but we'll get to those in the next video, folks. So for now, this is JB saying goodbye, and thanks for watching, and I will bid you adieu until we meet again in part 20-something. I forgot exactly, but we'll see you in part 20-something. So I'll see you then. I'll talk to you soon.